with by far the worst commentator and interviewer in the business. Actually, this is his third take.
Appreciate the kind words, Shakur. Thank you for that.
Nah, no kind words for you, brother.
Oh, okay. Well, I was being sarcastic, obviously. But
oh, for real, I didn't know.
Breaking news, the one and only Shakur Stevenson came out blasting Mike Coppinger for being one of the most racially biased reporters in the sport of boxing. Shakur said to Mike Coppinger face to face that you are the worst commentator in the sport of boxing today. Check it out.
Tough fight on paper, at least, against William Zepeda. Tell us why it won't be tough in the ring.
First, I want to say we were by far the worst commentator and interviewer in the business. Actually, this is his third take. But
you're basically saying you want your credit when the fight goes the way you think it's going to go.
I want my credit from all of y'all. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear, oh, he wasn't that good. Oh, he had this. I don't want to hear none of that. When I whoop his, I want y'all to just say I'm the best. That's all I want.
Like when you say whoop his, do you mean whoop his?
Just pull up and see.
Okay. All right.
Pull up and watch.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to it.
Yo, you gonna be the commentator?
We'll see, Shakur.
Oh my God.
We'll see, Shakur. If you're lucky, yes.
If I'm lucky, shit. We care about the fans, man.
I call it like I see it. If you put on a clinic,
we care about the fans though. Like
me too. I care about the fans.
You can't do that to the fans, bro.
Oh, thanks, Shakur.
Shit.
Shakur really cares about the fans.
Nobody want to hear you up there though.
Hopefully, Shakur's going to treat the fans to a really exciting fight.
Okay,
I hope so.
And hopefully, you commentate better.
Thank you. I'm going to try my best.
Brother.
All right. Anyway, we're here with Shakur Stevenson, and we thank you.
Even though I totally agree with Shakur that Mike Coppinger is one of the worst commentators in the sport, he shouldn't have got hired by Turkey. He should have had got fired by ESPN, and that should have had been the end of his career. But I totally disagree with Shakur that Mike Coppinger is the worst commentator in the sport of boxing. Even though Mike Coppinger, his voice makes you want to turn the TV off. That's how biased he is. However, there are more racially biased commentators ahead of him, and that's Jim Lampley, that commentated the New York fight, Tarver, who commentated for the first time with him, with Jim Lampley and Mike Coppinger, and the DAZN crew, from Grisham to Chris Mannix to ESPN, Tessitore, and Mark. These guys are way more biased than Mike Coppinger. Well, let me take that back. I shouldn't say way more. I should say a little bit more. All of these guys are bad. It's more like pick your poison with these guys. Mike Coppinger just has less poisoning than the rest of the guys I just named. In fact, if Turkey or whoever it is put a mute option where instead of hearing the commentators, we get to hear the sound of the punches, the corners, and the fans cheering, that's it, that's all. Nearly 95 to 98% of the fans will utilize that option. Only due to the fact that's how racially biased the commentators are. They want to brainwash your head. Furthermore, even though Mike Coppinger is a freaking poison in the sport of boxing, I can prove that he's not the worst. You see, during the last New York card, where Ryan, Devin, Teofimo Lopez fought on the same card, Turkey brought Jim Lampley out of retirement. And I don't know why Turkey thought it was a good idea to do so. It's probably less money to utilize the mute option than hire Jim Lampley. So Jim Lampley came out of retirement. Turkey also hired Tarver, and he put Mike Coppinger along with the same team to cover the New York fight of Devin Haney, Ryan, and Teofimo Lopez. Well, do you guys know when Ryan was getting exposed, where Rolly dropped him and he was outboxing him, not once Jim Lampley and Tarver brought up the fact that Ryan is not looking the same. He's not looking like the same Ryan that fought Devin Haney. Not once they said, this is the effect of PEDs. The reason why Ryan is looking like this is because he's not on PEDs. Jim Lampley never said that. This is the same guy, him and Tarver. When they were covering the Devin Haney fight, they spent the entire fight criticizing Devin Haney, even though Devin Haney got cheated by Ryan, and this was like a tune-up fight to him against a tough opposition. So it wasn't really a tune-up. Instead of giving Devin Haney the benefit of the doubt, They criticized Devin Haney nearly 20 seconds into the fight. They kept criticizing him till the end of the fight. Now, do you think Jim Lampley kept the same energy of calling Devin Haney a boring fighter when he was calling the Ryan fight? Do you think he said the Ryan fight was boring, even though it was just as boring, if not even more boring? Devin Haney threw more punches than all the fighters, from Canelo to Ryan to Rolly. Devin Haney threw more punches and landed more punches than all of them. Anyway, Jim Lampley did not even once call Ryan boring or the fight boring, nor did he bring up the fact that this is the effect of Ryan not being on PEDs. Instead, it was Mike Coppinger who was forced to do so. Now, I only said forced to do so because Mike Coppinger didn't want to do that. The only reason why he did is because Ryan was losing. If Ryan was winning the Rolly fight in spectacular fashion, or even after he got dropped, he came back to win, Mike Coppinger would have had never brought up the fact that Ryan is looking this way because he was on PEDs for the Devin Haney fight, and he's not on PEDs this time around. This is the PEDs effect. Even if Ryan wasn't looking the same, Mike Coppinger would have had never brought this up if Ryan was winning the fight. But because Ryan was losing the fight to a cherry pick in Rolly, who got smoked by Pitbull Cruz, that's when he figured he has nothing to lose by bringing up the fact that Ryan is not looking the same without PEDs. Because if he didn't, they would have had received a lot of backlash. And that's why he did it. Whatever the reason is, at least Mike Coppinger did it. Jim Lampley, on the other hand, he's too racially biased to do so. Tarver, he's too much of an Uncle Tom to do so. Moreover, Devin Haney came out saying, "I'm mad at my friend Mike Coppinger. I'm in Miami looking for him." Your friend? Really? You see, Bill Haney and Devin Haney, they think if they show love to these racist reporters that they gonna return the favor and they not gonna be racially biased against them. That's why Devin, he showed love to Jim Lampley along with Bill. And you see how Jim Lampley didn't give a F about all that. He still trashed them, or trashed Devin, the entire fight. You see Devin Haney do an interview with Showbiz. And it's like, man, you gotta have standards, bro. How you gonna do an interview with the same guy, the same Uncle Tom that defended Ryan for cheating and was just reporting fake news and making up shit? Excuse my French. The least Devin Haney could have had done was do exactly what Shakur did and walk out of the interview. Call the guy out and walk out of the interview. How can you not feel disrespected in that position? I couldn't even watch the interview. I didn't even click on it, just seeing the guy face next to Devin. I couldn't believe Devin will actually sit down and do an interview with that guy. You gotta have some standards. If not, everyone will walk over you. And Devin is learning it the hard way, because as much as Bill and Devin is trying to kiss ass to all these racist reporters and Uncle Toms, they still dissing the hell out of them. Gotta take notes. Do what Shakur just did. You gotta call a spade a spade. Now, Mike Coppinger came out and said this right here. Check it out.
You hurt your hand against a very, very good fighter, and you beat a very good fighter with one hand. It's not like you don't want to fight. It's that you couldn't throw both hands. That's all it was.
There was no broken hands. Again, maybe he had a hurt hand. I'm not saying he didn't, but the fight
only
after that
used
against
one hand.
Brunania, and also that was not the most exciting fight. So he's very outspoken.
But
He
you
has the
gotta
big-
win. It doesn't have to be exciting.
This is showbiz. Like Edgar Berlanga said, this is entertainment.
But
There's
you
two
really,
things.
but you want to
There's
know if
two
your
parts
fighter
to it.
won, though. You want to.
That's the most
especially
important
he
thing.
dominates. It is to have close
But
fights.
if you want to be the
He
biggest star, if
dominates.
you want to be on a star like Gervonta Davis, you have to bring the action like Gervonta Davis.
But at the end of the day, what's best? Win or be a star?
Both.
No, no, what's
I think
best?
being a star is best. This is showbiz.
No,
Because
because if you don't
stars
win, you
make them-
can't be a star.
You need to do both. Manny Pacquiao lost 8 times.
I get Mike's, but he won so many though.
He did.
The biggest
Okay,
stage.
you're right. Both guys.
You guys heard it. The guy that Devin Haney thinks is his friend, Mike Coppinger just said that Devin Haney, Shakur, and fighters like that, if they want to be superstars like Gervonta, then they have to produce the same action. They have to be entertaining. In other words, Mike Coppinger is saying fighters like Shakur and Devin Haney are boring. Now, here is my thing. Why Mike Coppinger never said the same thing when he saw Lomachenko in a slow fight against Teofimo Lopez? Why Mike Coppinger didn't keep that same energy when it came to Tyson Fury? Remember when Tyson Fury put everyone to sleep fighting Klitschko? He didn't label Tyson Fury boring due to that. They only do that to the black fighters. Why Mike Coppinger doesn't say the same thing about Ryan? Why he calls Ryan a superstar, even though Ryan just had a slow fight against a cherry pick where he got dropped and lost? That fight was boring. Why he still say Ryan is a superstar? Again, it's because these fighters I just named have the complexion for the connection to get the ultimate protection. I remember the time when Floyd was the face of boxing in his prime, and Jim Lampley and Larry used to hate the hell out of him. Jim Lampley said Floyd Mayweather will always be a boring fighter because he doesn't have power. He only throws pop shots without any power. He doesn't have power. Jim Lampley followed up, I believe at that time, saying that Floyd is not going to be like one of the all-time greats. Then he was reminded that Sweet Pea Whitaker is one of the all-time greats and he never had a knockout power. Floyd even has more power than him. It was extremely disrespectful for Jim Lampley to say so, because Floyd is one of the most entertaining fighters in the sport that had ever existed. And that's a fact because his fights have replay value. If your fight has no replay value, that means your fight is boring. How many times have you went back to watch a Floyd fight? And how many times have you went back to watch a Zabeta fight? Never. How many times have you went back to watch a Shakur and Devin Haney fight? Way more than Zabeta fights. And that's my point exactly. Action-packed mean nothing if your fight has no replay value. Shakur, who was able to transform like Goku to Ultra Instinct, no one ever said that Goku Ultra Instinct is boring. What? Everyone will look at you like you stupid. But in the sport of boxing, if you are black, they will think so, because you have the complexion for the neglection. When two fighters fight and they have no skill, they are literally punching bags. Do you think that's entertaining? Because I don't. Why will I watch a fighter do something that I can do? I want to watch a fighter do something that I can't do. You watch a superhero like Superman because you can't fly. You can't do what Superman does. You can't do the things Goku does, the Ultra Instinct that Goku has, but Shakur can. So we all know why you guys hate on him, because y'all wish y'all favorite fighter are like that. That goes to Mike Coppinger, Jim Lampley, and all of them. You see, when they watch Tyson Fury beat Klitschko in a boring fight, or Lomachenko lose to Teo in a boring fight, or Teofimo Lopez fights that were boring, slow, action-packed, and all that. Even Edgar Berlanga against Angulo, that fight was extremely boring. They don't say that about them when they watch them. They said Tyson Fury, oh, look at his skill. Oh, Lomachenko, he the Matrix. But why can't Shakur be the Matrix? Like Tyson Fury in a slow fight, or Loma in a slow fight, even though Loma was losing. At least Shakur is winning. That's my point exactly. It's always about the yin and the yang. So I'm glad Shakur put Mike Coppinger in his place, something Devin Haney should have had done to Showbiz, the guy with ponytail with glasses from Golden Boy, and everyone he was doing interviews with that was dissing the shit out of him. Excuse my French, you gotta have some respect for yourself, because if you don't, everyone is gonna walk all over you and they're gonna diss you even more, because they're gonna think, man, there's no consequences to me dissing the hell out of this guy. He got no self-respect. He don't care. As soon as he see me, he think I'm his friend. Oh, that's my guy, because I could diss the hell out of him and he still think I'm his friend. Man, these fighters be tripping. That being said, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below. And to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Akhi TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.